and welcome to ATV News. My name is Shalama Lawson. A Korean company has brought relief to some 80 orphans and vulnerable children in Chitungwiza after opening a preschool for the underprivileged in the town. However, residents are calling for more of such schools. Muchaneta Chimuka reports.
While residents in Chitungwiza have welcomed the construction of a school for orphans and vulnerable children by a South Korean company, they say more schools are needed to cater for the rapidly growing town. The Children Development Center, which was launched early this year, only caters for 80 children. The response has been overwhelming, and residents want more schools of that nature.
School fees. Kundikana chikafu chevana andina anondipa babaona mai vavo vakafa.
Ndoti kutanga kwaita yatibatsira mune zvakanyanya zvakawandisa noti taikundikana kuti vantu wane mari dzevana dzemukreshi, mari inobhadharwa kumasikoro zviri mukati ino yakawandisa tasingayikwanisa kundoti ndovamberi vanoshupika.
Even though Zimbabwe has been ranked as a country with the highest literacy rate in Africa, in the last 2 decades, it has been struggling to cope with high demand for schools. It is now very difficult for parents to secure places for their children. The poor are the hardest hit.
Tutengesa beans idzodzo. Kurima kwatinoita ikoko vanotipa futi chikafu hupfu. Tinowanawo hupfu hwekuti tikwanise kudya tichiuya kubasa makufeni patinouya. Uye zvetinodya kudya kwemangwanani tinonwawo tii nechingwa. Masikati todyawo sadza. Tiripo paposko ipapo. Takazvimirira sevabereki vanoshanda kumunda. Maklasi akakurisa zvekutoti vana vatori vashoma. Maklasi ashona matatu. Kune klasi yema 3 years. Kozoita klasi yema 4 years. Kozoita klasi yema 5 years.
Zimbabwe has more than 900,000 HIV and AIDS orphans, and most of them have no easy access to health and education.
Ndave nedambudziko rokuti vana vangu vanobatsirwa sei. Zvino posko zvayakauya pano vakubatsirwawo apo nepapo. Vakugona kunyora zvese. Ini ndine vazukuru vatatu. Baba vavo vasenze. Vamwe vachavana vana baba ndovengorambwa. Asi pakauya posko takaona kubatsirwa.
A South Korean project official, Neu Sik Hein, said they were touched by the plight of orphans in Chitungwiza.
He found some children in the field at the Kumusha area. So when he saw that the children, he felt sympathy to how is there any way to take care of the children? So we prayed together and we explained about the situation when visitors come in our center. So one of our visitors, they agreed to establish Children Development Center in this place.
Without support for orphans and other children, the burden in many cases falls squarely on the elderly people who struggle to look after the children. Such schools will no doubt help to lessen the burden that grannies have to carry. Muchaneta Chimuka reporting for ATV.
A Harare man who designed a simplified water-powered engine is hoping to generate enough electricity for the whole country once his project is commercialized. He recently received a $20,000 grant from the government for the project. Jeffrey Moyo reports.
A 43-year-old man has obtained a 20,000 grant from government to advance his invention of a water-powered engine to help ease household electricity woes. The inventor, Jeremiah Sundire, set up a sample of his invention in the plush suburb of Chisipite, where the mini power station is generating electricity at one of the homes.
With the money I've been given by the Ministry of Science and Technology, I am now manufacturing, the generators, small generators, so that someone like can start, is selling them to people.
Sundire is proud of his noise-free power plant.
Fambisa belt rinouya richifambisa AC generator riri apa. Then from there richifambisa AC generator riri apa. Iro belt iro anenge achifamba ritu iro belt iro kutofambisa these pipes dzichidzosera futi mvura kusaka inenge ichicirculate.
He is optimistic about the future of household electricity generation.
My sample can run electricity, which is something like, 3-phase and single phase, which can be in a position to be used in a household and also in industry.
Sundire is currently producing some small hydro engines which he is selling to some households and medium-scale industries.
At present, my samples can supply in households and industry.
Zimbabwe is facing serious power shortages and imports about 500 megawatts from neighboring countries to cover shortfalls. The power utility, Zesta Holdings, is battling to generate power to meet the growing demand of between 1,900 and 2,200 megawatts of power. And who knows, such simplified hydro power plants designed by Sundire may be part of the solution to the energy crisis facing the country.
My main aim is that if the country has got money, we can be in a position to, talk, or we can be in a position to agree on certain terms so that we can construct a station which can supply our country. It's very important.
Reporting for ATV, I'm Jeffrey Moyo, Harare, Zimbabwe.
Shortages of funding and equipment are hampering the development of the film industry in Africa. Artists from Nigeria and Zimbabwe are trying to find ways to deal with these challenges. Chris Bentavura gives us the report.
A visiting Nigerian filmmaker says players in the African film industry should devise strategies to create a self-sustaining film sector. Addressing a one-day workshop at the National Gallery of Zimbabwe, Oyinda Pakeye, who is the co-founder and curator of Video Art Network Lagos, said closer collaboration among filmmakers was critical in dealing with some of the challenges.
The challenges are pretty much the same across the continent. There's challenges with electricity, technological challenges, and physical challenges such as equipment. But where there's a will, one thing that Africans show is grit, and that there's always a way.
Fakeye displayed Nigerian artworks during the workshop, which was also graced by local and international artists attending the ongoing Harare International Festival of the Arts. Fakeye, who spoke about Nigerian video art, also praised Zimbabwean artists for being creative.
And we've seen that people are using amateur equipment but still producing work. And how they're doing that is by having really strong content and strong contextualization of the work. I think if people start focusing on the context and not so much on the output, that they will start seeing a growth in their work, and that should be reflected in the outcome.
Meanwhile, a partner and co-founder, Emeka Obo, failed to attend the workshop due to travel document problems. The National Gallery curator, Raphael Chikukwa, said the workshop was part of a regular program that seeks to promote communication and exchange of ideas between the two countries.
We are all Africans, and we are all interrogating the same issues which are to do with Africa and its challenges. So that's where the relationship is. And also to remember that, the late 277 used to come to Zimbabwe as a judge for the Heritage Biennale, which is to happen here. And some of our people used to go to Nigeria. So there is that bigger relationship. And in our exhibition, which is running, I've got a Nigerian artist, Modi Yaya, who is also showing. So that's where the relationship is.
Africa's movie industry has made great strides in the recent years as audiences on the continent increasingly choose made-in-Africa movies. But funding remains the single biggest problem threatening the continent's film industry. I'm Chris Bentavura, reporting for ATV in Harare, Zimbabwe.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.